Alright, so we're doing another video on the Gundam Universe 00 Quanta, or Quanti to be exact. But this one was actually very surprising, and I actually really like this figurine. So, anyways, let's get to it. Just a little more clearer from the box right here, as you can see, the Gundam Universe 00 Quanta, and the price on it's about $30. I got it for a little discount, so it kind of did help a little bit. So it was like basically 25. So just looking here, you see the little art here. You can see in the back. Again, I know like the 00 franchise is probably so saturated, and well, it was best or between the unicorn, and I was kind of like, well, I don't really want another unicorn. As much as it sounded pretty cool, I was like, you know what? I think the double quant is pretty good. And of course, again, there's also the strike freedom I thought about as well, but I don't know. There was actually something in here, and I'll show you later, like why I kind of chose this one. And you'll see as we get to it. So just by looking at the box is pretty nice, pretty well organized. You can see here, and this is the Gundam Universe 30. So I guess this is like the 30th one that's made. I guess that's what it means. Again, the double Quanta was also technically one of my favorites too. I actually really did like the Quanta. So anyway, so just opening here, just from the side, as you can see, opens pretty nicely. And again, you can see some of the action art. Just want to make sure real quickly. They talk a lot about the articulation, which is funny. Like, they never talk about anything else. They always just talk about like the movement of the arms and legs. But I feel like it's kind of like, well, that's the whole point, So I don't know. Here, just like that. So just coming out of the box already, you already see pretty good coloring. The coloring is pretty accurate to the anime as well as the mobile suit itself. And if you open here, you can also see just like the stuff that comes with the sword and everything, shield. So again, it's pretty sick. Now this is the one thing I was actually really surprised, is that they actually come with the whole weapon set to create the whole GN sword. I don't know, I forgot the move is called, or sorry, what that means, but it's basically when all the bits come together, which is really cool. So that was actually a huge surprise. I honestly thought it was going to be one of those shields where it just automatically connected and you can't take it off, right? So just open here, pretty nicely packaged. Again, so this is what it looks like, just out of the box. Of course, there's no really panel lining, but again, you're supposed to kind of put that for yourself. Oh, and the leg just kind of fell there for a second. So I guess already just looking at it, the details on the leg is actually kind of nice, surprisingly. I think once you panel line this, it'll look really, really good. And maybe I'll do a separate video, or at least show you guys, what it looks like panel lined. But honestly, it looks pretty solid. I think with these Gundam universes, they are getting better and better in terms of like quality for sure. So again, you can just do a 360 turn there, and it's pretty bulky. And I think these Gundam universes are meant to kind of be bulky, because again, these are meant to play with, right? So if you want to get like the action poses, it's either you get this or you get the robot Damashi. So again, these are great with posing wise. But again, this is more like a budget friendly one, I guess you can say. So you can do some poses there. Kind of goes out this way, and of course you can get the head to do the 360 turn. Surprisingly, I guess the back here is actually pretty good in coloring for the green. It's pretty solid there. I was kind of, well, I didn't expect it, to be honest, but it'd been cool if they had the 00 Quanta right there, because that's usually what they have, like the symbol right there, but they don't. So again, that's just something I didn't expect. So, and again, this is the back here, and I wonder if there's a way to put the shield on. So I guess that's where you put the shield. So it's right here. You just put the shield here. Ooh, and this part was actually surprisingly fits pretty decently well. So you just gotta put like that. And this part actually bends too. So you can see it goes like that. Movement. And of course, I believe this goes like this. So it fits pretty nicely, just like that. And again, it's actually pretty good in terms of quality. I'm actually really surprised. And again, of course, here's some of the parts, the GN swords, bits, whatever you want to call them. I think they're called bits, I think. I thought, seeing this for the first time, I thought this was going to be kind of a issue, as I thought, I thought there was gonna be an issue like doing this part, but it seemed like it's pretty good in terms of like it fits very nicely and kind of smooth, which I'm actually surprised. It's pretty smooth for, for the bits right here. And usually, even with the robot Damashis and the model kits, they're always kind of like a pain in the butt to like put on. But this one is actually surprisingly fits very nicely and it clicks very well. As long as you hear that click, see like that, it fits pretty good. And again, let's just place it here. And again, there's different hands here, so you can see the two different hands. One to hold the GN sword, and I guess if you want to put the other side. And the one thing I really like about the Gundam universe is putting on the hands is so easy and accessible, and like it's not like you have to really force it down, which is nice. And I was surprised on the GN sword that it actually bends very nicely here, so that's another thing I realized that's actually pretty nice. It's the sword right here, and it actually bends all the way. I thought it was just gonna be straight like this the entire time, but again, I think they really took their time in creating, a pretty good posable figurine. And of course, again, you place the sword there. It fits very well, and I'm really surprised on the quality. And again, the posing is surprisingly pretty good for a double Quanta. Again, I think it looked really nice once you panel line it, and I think it would do like really good justice from there. Now, another thing I like to point out, which is actually really interesting about this figurine, is that normally for the model kit, this part usually comes off. And that was one of the biggest things that kind of got irritated a lot of times, because it would always fall off like most of the time. So I was always having an issue. But luckily this one is stuck, and I like it that way. So that's a good sign. Another thing I realized, this thing actually opens up. Now, again, this is like a small little gimmick, but it actually supplies just opens that way. And, I honestly forgot the purpose of this, but it's a nice little cool little gimmick. That actually makes me more excited than actually just the bending or whatever the pose and articulation. Something simple like this is a big win for me. So I'm a huge fan of that, and I think that was a good win for the Gundam Universe series. So that was really, really, really cool. So as you can see here, you want to take these parts off. And again, they're very easy to take off right there. And if I remember correctly on how to put this on, I think these goes on the side here. So I think it goes like this. Go here. I'm already having little issues here, but I think it goes like this. Oh, here you go. So they click up here, so you can see those little clicks, and you see that little part there. It goes like that. And I believe this goes on the side. Let's see. Okay, I think it goes like this. Oh yeah, there you go. So they click on the bottom here. There you go. Very easy, straight to the point. Again, like I said, it looks really nice, and the emerald green has a very nice reflection on that. So again, the quality is there, and it's surprising looking really good. So let's put this in the pose and show you what it looks like. So after putting the whole freaking sword together, this thing is just massive, and as you can see, it can barely fit onto the screen. And again, even putting in the pose right here, you kind of definitely need to stand holding the mobile suit up. And again, the posing is not that great in terms of holding with two swords. I try my best, but the hands just, we're too loose to hold on together. And again, the sword is kind of heavy, so again, it is pretty big for what it is. But again, I'm surprised the quality of the sword. It fits perfectly. The emerald green is really nice and pretty. But again, you might need like multiple stands for this. Or again, you can use, a pose like this where you can have the sword on top of the shoulder. But again, the Buster, I guess you can call it the Buster Sword Cloud pose. This is pretty useless because, in Gundam lore, putting a blade right on top of the shoulder would literally just destroy the whole thing. So I don't think this pose would work either. I mean, again, you can always try the Tallgeese 2 pose, but this was pretty pointless. And this one doesn't even make sense at all. So, after just going through some of the, I guess in terms of the parts of the sword, again, this thing really surprised me in quality, and, just look at the details, it's actually surprisingly pretty well. It stands up pretty well, with the stand, and again, everything about it looks actually pretty majestic for what it is. So after going through the posing and all the weapons and all that stuff, honestly, this is actually pretty good for the price. Again, if you like the Double O series and if you like Double O Quanta, and if you want that nice coloring and color accurate, then this might be the one for you. And again, the detailing on it is actually superb. So if you want a panel line it, I think it'll look really nice, just like the Barbados Lupus Rex. Again, some of the gimmicks on here is actually quite impressive. And if you're a collector, definitely want to get one of these. Um, yeah, definitely want to check this out. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. This is pretty much the end of the review. But if you like what you see here, definitely pick one up for yourself. And if you have any thoughts and comments, please comment below and subscribe to the page, and see you in the next video. Peace.
Hey, I was watching that.